We're not always in control of what happened to us, but we're always in control of how we respond to what happened to us.
Yeah. Everything you need,
it's inside you.
It's inside you.
Use what you have.
Use what you have. So that means that using the excuse of, oh, I don't have anyone around me, I don't know anyone that started business. Have we ever heard of Google?
Right, YouTube.
And it comes down to, how bad do you really want it? Want is lazy language. So it's really, how badly do you desire that transformation?
Hello, I'm Joseph Williams.
I'm Ebony Williams.
Co-founders of J&E Coaching,
where we help women align,
amplify,
and accelerate their goals and intimate relationships by challenging their BS.
We're not always in control of what happened to us, but we're always in control of how we respond to what happened to us.
Yes.
Ebony and I have been through a lot of tumultuous things in our lives, and very traumatic things in our lives.
Yes.
But
some of it we've actually mentioned in our life story video or our journey of becoming, and we'll be sure to link it above.
But so many different things that we've been through, the reason why we're still pushing forward and making traction and achieving our goals, not being stuck on a dead-end job, not being in a relationship where we're not happy. The reason why we've been able to triumph in all those different situations is because we own our own happiness. We own our own joy and fulfillment.
Yes.
So we're talking about ownership. The reason why, let's be honest, the reason why you haven't been able to achieve your goals and your dreams is because you don't own it.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? Let's think about this in the context of owning a home. So Ebony and I, we're very methodical, and so when people say, "Oh, I'm a homeowner," unless you own the deed to the home, you don't own it. So in contrast, what does owning a home have to do with happiness and fulfilling the goal? Well, I'll tell you. When you own the deed to your weight loss, for instance, you won't say, "Well, I will lose the weight," but there are no buts. If you truly own the deed to your weight loss, then you'll stop pointing finger at other people.
Exactly. And the same thing goes for any goal, right? Starting a business, writing a book, beginning a podcast. It could even be developing new friendships. At the end of the day, we have to be real. These things are not outside of us. One of the things that we teach our clients is that everything you need,
it's inside you.
It's inside you. Actually, you don't need anything outside of you. Everything you need is inside of you.
Let me dovetail off what you're saying. Everything is inside you, which is really great. You know, one of the reasons why, in addition to us not owning our situation, is because we're not resourceful. We put so much focus and energy on resources, but if we were resourceful enough, we can figure out these things. But that comes down to ownership as well.
It does.
Okay, maybe you want to start a business and you don't have the funds. Use what you have.
Use what you have. So that means that using the excuse of, oh, I don't have anyone around me, I don't know anyone that started business. Have we ever heard of Google?
Right. YouTube?
Just saying. And honestly, between the two, I'm telling you,
you can do a lot of damage.
You can do a whole lot of damage.
And within the context of being resourceful, you can literally start a business with no money.
Literally.
I mean, you can go to the library and use iPads and use the internet. I mean, if it really comes down to it.
Exactly. And it comes down to, how bad do you really want it? Really? Can you say, and then on top of that, we say, how bad do you really want it? Because that is, you know, that's a common saying. But the thing is, again, want is lazy language. So it's really, how badly do you desire that transformation?
Napoleon Hill, in the infamous book, Think and Grow Rich, he said, burning desire. which means that you're consumed with it. So
you wake up with it. You go to lunch with it. You go to a bathroom break with it. You go to sleep with it. It never leaves you.
You have to own your deed.
Yes.
You have to own the deed to your happiness, to your weight loss, to starting a business, writing a book, whatever the situation is.
And you have to ask yourself, the moment that you're actually looking outside of yourself for that, you need to stop and ask yourself, why? Like, why am I looking outside of myself? What is it within me that's programmed, right? Because that's a part of, that's the BS, right?
Our belief systems.
The BS. That is the BS, which is going back to figuring out here what's actually taking place, so that you can then reframe those thoughts.
Okay, so the first point is owning the deed to whatever it is that you're trying to do, right? The next one is when you own the deed to a house, you have to have upkeep. And this is one of the areas, this is one of the silver linings where the water becomes murky, because we just believe that, you know, if I just step out and do X, then everything will work itself out. But what about when you own a home? There's upkeep that has to happen.
Exactly. Which is the difference when you decide to rent or lease a home or, you know, an apartment, is that more than likely the upkeep is on the actual owner of that home, like
not
the place that you're renting.
Right.
It's on you. So in the context of yourself, are you renting or leasing your belief systems? Are you renting your dreams, your goals to outside forces?
The maintenance and the upkeep, you have to surround yourself with OQ people.
Yes.
Only quality people.
Yes.
Environmental anchors is a terminology that we came up with. Environmental anchors, people, places, and things that anchor our belief systems.
Yes.
So, in order for you to truly get unstuck, for you to get happy, for you to write that book, start that business, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to achieve, you have to have daily. Not daily, right? Upkeep.
Yes.
What are you listening to? Are you listening to empowering, motivating, disruptive things like this?
Are you consuming?
Are you
consuming the news, or even social media? I think social media is beautiful, right? But we also know that it can also be inundated with a lot of noise, a lot of nonsense. And so that means that it's up to you to step up to the plate to curate what you actually then end up receiving. We are, you know, acquaintances with quite a few people, and literally pretty much all of those people we actually don't even really follow. And that is because we are consciously aware that what we consume affects our thought patterns.
Okay, I'm gonna go on the other end of that. Subconsciously, we're ingesting so many different things that anchor our belief systems negatively, right? So we're hanging around negative people. Well, Susie, you know, that sounds like a great goal, but you know, I think you're a little bit too old, or you know, I think you should stay on this job. You've been on this job now for 15 years. Subconsciously, we're taking in this information, and then we start to lower our standards.
If we're not careful, we will lower our standards simply based off of what other unsuccessful people, might I add, have just seeded into our brains.
So once again, in order to achieve our goal, to get unstuck, to get happy, to have options, to get free, you have to be consciously aware of your surroundings, the people, place, and things that anchor your belief systems.
Yes. And you have to be willing, even if they're loved ones, even if it's family members, even if it's friends that you've had, you know, that have known you since, who knows, pre-K. If your dream or your happiness comes at the cost of you letting people go,
being misunderstood, being talked about, well, do they think that they're better than us? There's a quote that I've heard that said, don't go where the path may lead, but go where there's no path and leave a trail. You may be the only one in your family that start a business. You may be the only one in your family that gets married. You may be the only one in your family that goes back to school. You may be the only one, but you have to be bold enough and courageous enough, as Ebony alluded to stand alone.
Stand alone.
And
stand
be
alone.
Courageous. Be fearless.
Yes.
So remember, you have to own the deed in order to change your situation.
Yes.
You have to own your happiness. You have to own your weight loss. You have to own your relationship, your finances, whatever it is that you desire, not want to change, whatever you desire to change, own it. We're not always responsible for what happened to us, but we're always responsible for how we respond to what happens to us.
And ultimately, no one else can get this transformation for you. Only you can get this for yourself.
So thank you so much for joining us in this conversation. And remember, if it's not challenging you,
it's not changing.